In a practice, seeing a backup quarterback wearing a red jersey and then running down the field on kickoff and being in a kickoff return. That's odd. Does it feel weird to you to wear that red jersey now in those situations?
Not anymore, but it definitely was, last year and everything. And I got buddies that would still heckle me and tease me out there about wearing the red jersey and running down there. But again, it's a fun thing to be able to contribute and add value to the team.
If you're trying to learn to be a quarterback at this league, is the special teams part the fun time for you? Is that play time?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that's put on a quarterback from a mental standpoint that special teams. There's not a lot of thinking that goes into that. You just go down, you make plays, and you obviously have responsibilities and assignments, but it's all about going down and making plays. So it is a non-stress thing that is fun.
You popped Arthur Milet pretty good.
What? Sorry?
You popped Arthur Milet pretty good.
Yeah.
What did he say when he got back up?
He was good. We kind of had a little, Coach Westhoff was kind of getting after us a little bit, and we had a little collision there. wasn't on purpose, but we were good.
How would you say your first 2 days of this camp have gone in the quarterback role?
Yeah, it's good. I think, look, every time I step on the field, I'm making sure that I know my responsibility and that I can execute inside that responsibility. So it's still a learning curve. I think the learning curve is still high. I obviously feel a lot better right now than I did, last season and then where I was at in OTAs. But it's still a learning process. I'm constantly playing catch up to where Drew and Coach Payton are. But I love the challenge. And I love working with those guys.
How's it feel just actually being able to get out there and get reps? I know that was something you didn't really get to do a lot of.
Sure. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. I think it's one thing to be able to sit in the classroom and to learn everything you're supposed to do, but until you actually have an opportunity to get on the field and rep it and see everything happen, it's really hard to cement that in your head. And so that's been a ton of fun, and really working hard at seeing the way Drew works through each play, and having the opportunity to learn from him, watching him do it, and then go do it myself has been a great experience.
Taysom, you seem to be a guy within the fan base that people are very intrigued by, and maybe it's because they just don't know too much about you, but they've seen flashes of athleticism and whatnot. I mean, do you feel that when you're walking around New Orleans or come across a fan or anything like that?
Sometimes. I think living in New Orleans has been a great experience, and I think the fan base has made it a great experience. I love living here. It's been some of the best environments, atmospheres that I've ever played in, playing in the Superdome, and really grateful and appreciative to the way the fans treat us and support us, and I've definitely felt that through my wife and I's time here.
You don't worry about the risk of injury. I assume you want to be a QB for a very long time. Special teams kind of put you in danger. How do you kind of balance that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to be a QB for a long time. I want to have a long career in the NFL. I think in the NFL there's only 53 spots, and so sometimes it's difficult when you look at the QB position because there's only one guy that plays. So the other guys, it's kind of a dead position on game day. So we've had conversations about it, and we're doing what we can to make sure that I don't get injured. But I think that this league, you've got to take risks, and that's kind of where we're at. And again, I'm doing my best to add value to the team, and you can't worry about the risk of injury because it's always going to be there. You just got to go take advantage of the opportunities when they come. That's what I'm trying to do.
What if you're the established number two? Would you still view it the same way?
Sure. I think that we'll have to have conversations, between the coaching staff, and they'll figure out what the risk and the reward of that is. But I'll tell you right now, I'll be willing to do what they want me to do.
So is that the goal of training camp, just winning that number two job right now?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, I think overall throughout any athlete's career, the goal is to be able to step on the field and say you got better today. And so my goal is to make sure that I can be as good as I can. I still think I've got a lot of room to grow, and a lot of that will come with rep and time and all of that. But internally, I'm making sure that I'm taking steps forward every day.
Do you have any tangible goals for this training camp?
Sure. I think a lot of my goals are, making sure that I that I understand and know the little nuances of our offense. So spent a lot of time in the playbook understanding that. And then, this is really my first time in this offense, and the footwork that we do here is different than what I've done in the past. And so I'll tell you, one of my tangible goals right now is to make sure that I can mesh and get my footwork right in line with what Drew does, and try to mirror everything that he does, in his pregame, the way he prepares for practice games, and then the way that he executes inside of those plays.
For the idiots among us, can you explain the difference in the footwork?
Just easy from what I was doing in Green Bay. Aaron and what they coached there was a lot of left foot forward in the gun, and then so a lot of the drops, like a 3-step drop, would turn into a 4-step drop from there, and that timed out with the routes that they had going here. Where here, Drew will start with a right foot forward, take a true 3-step drop to time up those routes. So it's transferring, what a 3-step drop what was turned out to be a 4-step drop in Green Bay. Now I'm transferring that to a right foot forward 3-step drop, trying to get on the same page with all these receivers, and again, just mirror that with what Drew has been doing.
So, like right now, are you kind of thinking about that a lot?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I think everything at the quarterback position in football is all timing, and so I'm constantly trying to get on the same page as my receivers. They're trying to get on the same page as us. I think the easiest way to do that is to just make sure everything lines up with what Drew does, because Drew has the timing. We're going to match everything to how he functions inside this offense. And but there definitely is a learning curve.
Beyond the footwork, is there just a difference in timing with the way Aaron and Drew play?
Yeah, well, I think the offense is set up differently. So both are obviously incredibly successful, and they've been really successful at what they do. But it is different, and what works for one doesn't work for the other. And what works for the other one doesn't work for the other, if that makes sense. But both are successful, and it's just different offense, different scheme, different ways of being successful.
So, Taysom, what would you say they both have in common? Is their accuracy? The short time you with Rodgers and then Drew? Or?
Yeah, I mean, both. I would say accuracy is big. I would say timing is big, and mentally, I would say both of those guys. It's just really difficult to pull them. And they're so smart, and they're always making the right decision. Their timing is very good, and I would say that they are both very. They take a lot of pride in what they do, and so they spend a lot of time honing that craft. And the way that they prepare is pretty incredible.
Now, Taysom, you're one of those special teams, Drew. You might have answered this already, but when you kind of waylaid Ultimate, you tell him something like, or he like, hey, what's going on? I feel like you kind of stunned him.
Look, in some of those drills, you don't really know how things are going to play out. The collision wasn't on purpose, but he stepped in front of me as I was trying to make a move, and the collision just happened. But look, we're all out there competing. There's no hard feelings there. It was just competition.
Have you researched the QB comp videos, and do you have a plan to stop Drew from cheating and switching roles?
I haven't seen the videos, but we keep Drew honest, But we're also realistic. I think most people want to see Drew win, so that's okay. That's okay too.
What would you say, just from a summary standpoint, is the difference between Green Bay's offense?
I would say Green Bay does quite a bit more quick game than what we do, and then I would say the New Orleans Saints offense. What makes us special is our play action stuff. Everything, every run that we have, we'll have a play action pass off of, and I really think that sets us apart from the other teams across the league. Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.